everyone. In today's session, we are going to start another chapter which is there in 12th NCERT Biology textbook, chapter number 10. It is Microbes in Human Welfare. This is very easy chapter, very interesting chapter, having the same weightage for NEET. Whether you are going with a difficult chapter like biotechnology also, the same number of questions will come. Whether you go to an easy chapter like microbes in human welfare also, the same number of questions will come. So, wherever there are easy chapters, there we have to grab as much as possible, so that it's not like a difficult question will be awarded more marks and the easiest question will be awarded less marks. Not like that. Question is a question. So, from easy concepts, we will try to grab more. We will never make a mistake. We will make our concepts very much clear. So, let us start a chapter. Lecture number 1. What is the chapter name? Microbes in Human Welfare. Microbes in Human Welfare. First, we should understand what are microscopic organisms, what are macroscopic organisms. Now, macroscopic organisms, living organisms means plants and animals. Microscopic organisms means microorganisms. So, NCERT says that besides macroscopic, what are macroscopic living organisms? Plants and animals. Besides macroscopic plants and animals, microbes are the major components, right? After these two, what are the other living components which are present in an ecosystem? Means microorganisms. So, besides macroscopic plants and animals, microbes are the major components. Microbes are the major components. We tell that microorganisms are the major components of the biological system. They are the major components of the biological system of the earth, right? So, one scientist made an estimate and he tells that how many plants and animal species are so far recorded. There is a scientist name, his name is called Robert May. Robert May made a scientific estimate. Robert May made a scientific estimate and he tells that like 7 lakh species are there on the earth. How many? 7 million species are there on earth. Robert May made a scientific calculation and he told that there are 7 million species on the earth, out of which how many we identified is 1.7 to 1.8 million species are identified so far. 1.7 to 1.8 million species are identified so far. Out of 7 million, 1.7 million only we recorded, we named. This is so and so plant, this is so and so animal. So, means so many are yet to be identified. So many are yet to be identified, so many are yet to be recorded. Now, in this 1.7 to 1.8 million, we will tell 1.25 millions are animals and approximately 0.5 millions are plants. That means the animal diversity is more than plants. The animal diversity is more than plants because animals are 1.25 million and plants are only 0.5 million. But scientists did not make an attempt to count the number of microorganisms because their diversity runs in millions, it seems, billions, it seems. So, microbe diversity will run in billions and even more. That is why they didn't even dare to count microorganisms. Okay. So, what is study of plants called? The study of plants. Tell me what is study of plants called? Botany. Study of animals, children. Zoology. Then study of microorganisms, then microbes, or study of microorganisms. Microbiology. What is it called? It's called microbiology. Study of microorganisms is called microbiology. Okay. Now, NCERT asks us another question that we know there are 5 kingdoms. R.H. Whittaker proposed 5 kingdom classification. What are they? First kingdom is Monera, second kingdom is Protista, third kingdom is Fungi, fourth kingdom is Plantae, fifth kingdom is Animae. Now, NCERT asks us a question, in how many kingdoms microorganisms are kept? So, NCERT asks a question, in which kingdoms are microbes kept? Now, what are the 5 kingdoms? Tell me. The first kingdom is Monera. The second kingdom is Protista. The third kingdom is Fungi. Fourth kingdom is Plantae. And fifth kingdom is Animae. Amma, there are 5 kingdoms. In these 5 kingdoms, in how many kingdoms are microorganisms kept? Monera includes bacteria. We can't see them with naked eye. So, this is there. Protista includes all that Chlamydomonas and all, Chlorella and all, Euglena, Plasmodium, all those things. So, Protista also includes microorganisms only. Fungi also comes under microscopic only. Fungal spores, fungal mycelium, fungal hyphae, if you want to see, you should see under microscope only, fungal cell. So, this is also microbe. So, plants and animals are macroscopic, it says. So, that means in how many kingdoms are bacteria kept or microorganisms kept? Means 1, 2, 3. In which kingdoms are microorganisms kept? Tell me the answer. The answer, they are kept in the first kingdom Monera. They are kept in the second kingdom Protista. They are kept in the third kingdom Fungi. Plantae and Animae are not microscopic. NCERT only told the statement they are macroscopic. They come under macroscopic organisms. Then NCERT asks us one more question, in which kingdom are microscopic forms kept? So, in these many kingdoms, microbes are kept. In which kingdom are microscopic organisms kept? Means you can tell again, bacteria comes under Monera. So, these are the perfect microscopic organisms. Yeah, but we can also tell Protista and Fungi are the kingdoms where again microscopic organisms are kept. Understood, children? What did we discuss in this board? We started with a new chapter, 12th NCERT, chapter number 10, microbes in human welfare. Okay. Now, the first sentence NCERT says, like, besides macroscopic organisms like plant and animal, microscopic organisms are also there. So, they will make the major components, they are in billions, more than that, will make the biological system of the earth. One scientist, his name is Robert May, he made a scientific estimate and he told the total number of species which are present on earth are 7 million species, macroscopic species, out of which 1.7 to 1.8 are identified so far, they are recorded so far, out of which 1.25 millions are animals, 0.5 millions are plants. Microorganisms, they didn't even dare to count them because their diversity runs in billions, you can't count them. So, every 20 minutes it will double, at least you will take some days and months to count them, by the time how much they will double again, so you can't. Okay. So, study of plant is called botany. Study of animal is called zoology. study of microorganisms is called microbiology. Then NCERT asks us another question, like in which kingdom microbes are kept. We know 5 kingdoms are there. R.H. Whittaker has proposed 5 kingdoms. The first kingdom, Monera, bacteria is there. Yes, that is microorganism only. Protista, where Chlamydomonas, Euglena, amoeba will come, that also comes under microorganisms only. Fungi also comes under microorganisms. So there are 3 kingdoms in which microorganisms are kept. What are they? Monera, Protista, fungi. Take a screenshot, we will continue. Yes. Now, the NCERT says that microorganisms are omnipresent. What do you mean by omnipresent? They are present everywhere. Air, water, land, soil, sewage water, fresh water, in the garden, in a polluted land, everywhere, right? It is present. So that's why we can just tell a statement that microbes are present everywhere. So in short, we can tell they are omnipresent. Microbes are present everywhere. So what can we use a word here? Omnipresent. They are seen everywhere. They are seen in soil, water, air, inside our body, in the plant body, in the animal body, they are found. So they are seen in soil, in water, in air, in our body, and inside plant and animal also. Inside plants and animals also we find microorganisms. So what is the speciality of microorganisms? Microorganisms grow in such places where no other organism can grow. Microorganisms can grow in such places where no other organisms can grow. So we can write that sentence also. Microbes can grow in such places where no other organism grows. It can grow in places where no other organism grows. So we'll give some examples and tell, yeah, see, these are the places where we can't grow, plant cannot grow, animal cannot grow, but bacteria is growing there. Shall we see some examples? Now microorganisms grow inside the geysers, it seems. Microbes survive in geysers where the temperature is near to 100 degrees centigrade. It can grow at a temperature near to 100 degrees centigrade. Then what are those forms called? Thermophiles, the organisms which grow at high temperatures. What are they called? They are called thermophiles. Then the NCERT says that there are some microorganisms which grow deep inside the soil. Next point is microbes grow inside the soil where there is no oxygen. Where there is no oxygen, there also microorganisms are growing. What are they called? Anaerobes. The organisms which grow without oxygen are called anaerobes. And NCERT says that microorganism grows in the layers of the snow. Now what are they called then? Microbes grow below the layers of the snow. What are they called? Then the organisms which are growing in chilled conditions inside the refrigerators where the ice is there, they are called cryophiles. What are they called? cryophyles. And NCERT says microorganisms can grow in highly acidic environments also. What are they called? Acidophiles. If microbes grow in high acidic environment, what are they called? Acidophiles. So they are called as bacteria or the organisms growing at high temperature, thermophiles. Growing at an oxygenless condition, anaerobic. Growing in the snow, cryophiles. Growing in the acid, acidophiles. So these are the places where we can't grow, right? Where we cannot survive, right? So then microorganisms are growing, so that's why we call them omnipresent. So that means you should understand that microbes are diverse. So one simple statement we can write at the bottom, that microbes are diverse in nature. They are very much diverse in nature. So in the previous board we wrote, protozoans are also microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, viruses are also microorganisms. If you want to list down the microorganisms, what are they called? Protozoans is one category. Bacteria is another category. Fungi is the third category. Plant and animal viruses, I will write animal. Animal and plant viruses. Viroids. Prions. Amma, all these are the list, right? All these are the list of microorganisms. There are so many types it seems. Okay. Now, study of protozoans. What is it called? Study of protozoans is called parazoology. Study of protozoans is called parazoology. Study of bacteria, bacteriology. Study of fungi, mycology. Study of viruses, virology. And viroids and prions are variants of viruses. They are called variants of viruses. They are variants of viruses. Actually, a virus will have a protein coat and it has genetic material. What is this outer layer called? A protein coat, and inside genetic material. Okay. When it is having all the two, it is called virus. There are some things where only genetic material is there. Naked genetic material is there, then that is viroid. If it is having only naked genetic material, what is it called? Viroid. Other way, if it has only protein coat, if it is an only protein coat, this is called prion. So, viroids are also infective. Viruses, prions are also infective. Infective protein particles are prions. What are prions? Prions are infective protein particles. Infective protein particles. Only protein is there. Nucleic acid is missing. It's called prion. Only nucleic acid is there. Naked nucleic acid is there. Not wrapped by protein coat. Viroid. Both are there. Viruses. So, microorganisms are diverse in nature. Study of protozoans is called parazoology. Study of bacteria is called bacteriology. Study of fungi is called mycology. Study of plant and animal virus is called virology. Viroid means naked genetic material. Prion means infective protein particle. Take a screenshot. Okay children, can I erase this? Now in NCERT they have given some pictures. Let us see those pictures. 10.1, 10.2, 10.3 figures we are going to discuss now. As I told you, this is one short destination for NEET biology. You need not look into any other things. All the concepts related to NEET will be covered. Okay, so let us look at the diagrams also. 10.1, 10.2 and 10.3 in NCERT. Page number 180, we are going to discuss about the figures 10.1, figure 10.2 and figure 10.3 now. So in 10.1, they are trying to show us three types of bacteria, and they told such type of bacteria they are trying to show us. And they are telling this is rod shaped bacteria. They show such type of picture and they are telling what is this? Rod shaped bacteria. Since we know these are microorganisms, we cannot see them with the naked eye. They should be kept under microscope. When you are keeping under microscope, different lenses you will have. So 10x, 15x, 45x, 100x. X is the magnification power. 10 times to your eyesight if it magnifies, it is called 10x lens. 50 times if it magnifies, 50x lens. Now, this much size you can see when it has undergone magnification of 15,000. Rod shaped bacteria magnified at 1500x. X is the magnification power. 1500 times when you multiply, this is the size what you can see. Rod shaped bacteria are called as bacilli. Okay. Now next one, they tried to show us cocci, round shaped bacteria. Spherical bacteria, which has also been magnified by 1500x only. So what is this? Spherical shaped bacteria magnified again at 1500x only. Now round bacteria are called cocci. What are they called? Cocci. And third one, this time what they have done is not 1500 times, 50,000 times when you magnify, then we are able to see one bacteria like this. And from that bacteria, we are also able to see the flagella. So these are flagella and this is bacteria. So it is this much when you magnify 1500 times. It is this much when you magnify 50,000 times. What is this? Bacteria with flagella. Bacteria with flagella. Magnified how many times, Amma? 50,000x. Okay. This also they can ask you. Everything which is there in NCERT is a neat question to you. So I can tell how many x magnification is this picture. 50x, 1500x, 20,000x, like that. The answer is 50,000x. So, but these three are the pictures for 10.1. Now, 10.1, they showed us bacteria. 10.2, they are trying to show us viruses. Now, let us see 10.2 viruses pictures. So, the first picture, what they tried to show us is a virus. The virus which infect plant or the virus which infect bacteria is called bacteriophage. Okay. It has a head. It has a collar and this is the body of it. This is the body and this is the tail. This is the tail and it has a hexagonal end plate. At hexagonal end plate it has pins, tail pins, and then from every pin arises a tail fiber also, prong. Okay. So, and then if we see the head, it shows icosahedral symmetry. It shows icosahedral symmetry. Icosahedral symmetry means it shows many facets, right? So, children, what is this? This is a bacteriophage, a virus it is. So, what is bacteriophage? It is a virus which infects bacteria. The virus which infects bacteria is called bacteriophage. How many times did they magnify this? They did not give us the picture, they did not tell us how many times it got magnified, because viruses are not seen under normal microscope. Viruses seen only under electron microscope, means this is an electron microscope picture. This is an electron microscope picture. Let us label the parts, huh? So, what is this called? This is called head. Icosahedral head. Many faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So many facets are there. So, it is called icosahedral head. And this is a neck or collar. And this is the body. And this is the hexagonal plate, end plate, basal plate, and these are called tail pins, and these are called prongs. These are called prongs. This is a virus which infects bacteria. The viruses which infects animal also they showed us. It is an adenovirus picture they showed us. NCERT, they tried to show an adenovirus also, which cause respiratory diseases in animals. It causes respiratory disorders in animals. See, it is having only head. It is not having tail, fibers and all. It is not having, right? So, what is this, children? It is adenovirus. So, it is animal virus which cause respiratory diseases in animals. One small thing they asked us to do, NTA or NEET, they are asking us to thorough NCERT. Can't we do that? One small textbook, can't we read to become doctors? So, take your textbook, eat off your textbook. Okay. So, what is this? This is adenovirus. Adenovirus is plant virus or animal virus? Animal virus. Again, like this, magnifications will not be there. Why? Because it is electron microscope picture. This is electron microscopic picture. Now, what does adenovirus cause? It causes respiratory disorders. It causes respiratory disorders. Then they tried to show us a plant virus. This is bacteria infecting virus. This is animal infecting virus. They tried to show us a plant virus also, which is called TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. Tobacco mosaic virus is a rod shaped virus. They are telling this is tobacco mosaic virus, TMV, which is 1 to 1.5 lakh magnified. 1 to 1.5 lakh magnified. What is it called? Tobacco mosaic virus. What is it called? Tobacco mosaic virus. Plant virus, animal virus? It is plant virus. It causes mosaic disease in the tobacco plants. So, what did we see here? So, we covered page number 180 NCERT, figure 10.1 and 10.2. So, take a screenshot. We will talk about 10.3 also. In 10.1, 3 bacterial shapes they gave. In 10.2, 3 viruses they gave. In 10.1, rod shaped bacteria, bacilli, spherical shaped bacteria, cocci, one bacteria enlarged to 50,000 times with flagella. In 10.2, the bacteria which infects, the virus which infects bacteria is called bacteriophage. These are the parts. The virus which infects animals is called adenovirus. It is this picture. The virus which infects plant is called plant virus, tobacco mosaic virus. Picture they have given. Take a screenshot. Right. Now let us talk about 10.3 picture also. Now if we want to see the bacteria, we need to culture them. Now that means you should provide food to the bacteria or fungi, then only they will grow, right? So now the medium which is used to cultivate microorganisms is called culture medium, nutrient medium. The medium which is used to grow bacteria or fungi. What is it called? It is called nutrient medium. It is called nutrient medium. If the nutrient medium is solid, so then we call it as a nutrient agar medium. If the medium is solid, amma, then it is called nutrient agar medium. If the medium is liquid, then we call it as nutrient broth. Okay. Now, if it is solid, then we will take it in a plate. The plate is called as Petri dish. So, nutrient agar medium is taken into a dish. What is this called? A Petri dish. A nutrient broth, a liquid medium, is taken into a test tube. Liquid medium is taken into a test tube. What is it called? Nutrient broth medium. Okay. If you want to grow bacteria in a liquid culture, grow it in a test tube. If you want to grow bacteria in a solid culture, then take a Petri dish. In this Petri dish, add the nutrient agar. So, commercially in the market we get the bottles in which agar powder will be there. Take it and pour it. Then after pouring it, you will get the nutrient agar gets solidifies. So, like this, the agar will get solidified. After that, take tap water. You know bacteria are present everywhere. Bacteria are present everywhere. So, what we need to do? Any sample where bacteria is there, drop it. Buttermilk also you can drop where lactobacilli is there. Take some suspension, drop it. You brought some suspension, you add it here and you give food to it. So, it nicely starts growing. When the bacteria starts growing, they grow and then after 24 hours, if you see colonies, what are these dots I am keeping? Don't think these are bacteria madam is drawing. Bacteria are microscope, you can't see them like this. So, the one what you see, one dot represents a bacterial colony. One dot represents a bacterial colony. We don't know that in that colony 100 bacteria, there are 1000 bacteria there. So, like this, you can grow the bacteria in Petri dishes and you can see them. Now, we can grow fungi also. We can grow fungi also. In NCERT, they told this is the fungal colony. This is a fungal colony and fungal growth. Fungal colony will grow like this in a Petri dish. Bacterial colony will grow like this in a Petri dish. If it is a liquid culture, we grow it in a nutrient broth. So, children, this is introduction to the chapter microbes in human welfare. In the next lecture, we are going to start the topic like microbes in microorganisms used in household products. Okay. If the content is informative, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Any comments, post them in the comment box. Thank you.